Hello, dear viewers and listeners. This is our channel. We are going to discuss today about Marxism. Stay tuned with us. I think you have heard about Karl Marx. He is one of the greatest thinkers. Marxism is his ideology. Neo-Marxism, or in its another term, conflict theory, is developed by Karl Marx. Karl Marx developed the idea of conflict theory, which is very explained in sociology. Karl Marx was born in Germany and died in London. He was a very known thinker and sociologist. Karl Marx proposed the idea of a paradigm of conflict theory in sociology. What is conflict theory? When we mean conflict theory, it is the basic idea of looking at power dynamics and analyzing the ways in which the struggle over power drives societal change. Karl Marx emphasized to question the issue of being free, and he asked what is being free, and he was concerned much with freedom. His theory pushed the discipline to look at questions of power and inequality, and how power and inequality can drive societal change, how power can make people shift from one form to the other form, and asked the question, how can people be free? As a result, he stated to work or labor cooperatively in order to survive. Working together allowed people to transcend people's natural constraints. This is very clear. For Marx, it is different. Marx argued the way labor organized leads to massive inequalities. The workers and the bourgeois can emanate from these. The central to the above question, or to the question of freedom, for Marx comes from the following. 1. Question of labor. 2. How labor is organized. 3. Who benefits from labor. 4. How this organization changes over time. The focus on labor developed the historical materialism perspective. Here, let me explain what historical materialism refers about. Historical materialism comes from two concepts. One, it is history, and the second one is material. Historical materialism states that all objects, whether living or inanimate, are subject to continuous change. Historical materialism can be defined or explained in other terms as follows. When we talk about history, it's about the relation with time. Historical materialism is historical because it's related with time. And for Karl Marx, that new developments of productive forces of society in conflict with the existing relation of production. When we talk about, or when we explain about materialism, it is about how production is organized and who has things like food, money, and who doesn't. Karl Marx states how stuff is produced is what matters most. This is the base of a society. He states, or he calls, the rules, customs, laws, and beliefs determining how the wealth should be distributed as the superstructure. Karl Marx feels that politics, belief, and religion are secondary to production and resources. Because to understand politics, beliefs, and religion, we need to understand the material reality they were based on first. It is therefore the economy that includes the organization of labor and resources in a society that is the foundation and the superstructure. So the politics, culture, religion, families were built on the top of material reality. Based on this, Karl Marx focused on the modes of production and economic classes. For Marx, modes of production include a combination of forces of production and relations of production that included primitive communism, feudalism, capitalism, and socialism in a linear path. The primitive communism is a community that evolved after its evolution. And through production, feudalism has emerged due to accumulation of resources in one place while it is minimized or decreased proportion of production somewhere else. So feudalism has evolved to capitalism, and it is expected to be socialism for many communists. The forces of production include or comprises the technical, scientific, and material parts of the economy. Relation of production is about working for labor or property of ownership. The relation of production has created the two classes, the proletariat or the working class and the bourgeoisie. Here, let me define what bourgeoisie and proletariat mean. The proletariat is the poor or lower class, which is majority in number, while the bourgeoisie are the rich upper class or the minority powerful, those who are owning the factories and the product. The proletariat works in the forces of production, like individuals, and use resources to make things, but the people or the proletariat do not own what they make. It is owned or controlled by the rich class or the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie produces and owns the factories and sells the products to the proletariat and other bourgeois. The control of production leads to exploitation. According to Karl Marx, the control leads to exploitation in capitalism in the form of wage labor. The bourgeoisie pays small amount to the proletariat, less amount that leads crisis of overproduction. When there is crisis of overproduction, it leads to struggle of classes. Many times it is explained before. Many times the bourgeoisie and the proletariat go for clashes, and the clashes or the struggle for classes comes with complete change of in relation of production. The proletariat and the bourgeois clash, and that might bring revolutions. According to Marx, the class revolution can occur when the workers unite and revolt against the bourgeoisie to create new state. The bourgeois who owned factories that produced everything people needed also reflect or clash with the proletariat because they depended on the proletariat facility. The bourgeois sold what they produced to earn a living, whereas the proletariat have only their labor to sell or to make a living. They further depended on the bourgeois to survive. The relation between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat has significant economic inequality or injustice. When the proletariat realized they were being exploited, they would unite to create a class consciousness to overthrow the capitalist status quo. The existing generally accepted state or thesis of a society creates the antithesis of the accepted state or the bourgeoisie. Thus, the revolutions can bring new players or new actors, removing the bourgeois exploitation. The workers can now begin to lead. The Karl Marx's ideology or idea or Marxism emphasizes on classless societal changes. I thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share. In the next video, I present for you about Karl Marx's theory or Marxism and Ukrainian-Russian war. Thank you very much. See you next time.